question. This functions so well for me because a lot, like I said, these are my cooking spices, and a lot of times I'm using my kind of measuring spoons anyway, so I love it having it this way. So let's move back into the junk drawer portion of the video. So my non-traditional junk drawer is actually the canisters that you see here on my counter. And I know typically when we use canisters in the kitchen, we're using them to house, you know, those food things like flour and sugar and coffee and things like that. But this actually works great to house those random items that I need in my kitchen. Now, as for flour and sugar and things like that, you know, I house that in jars in my pantry, and I'm planning on posting my pantry tour either tomorrow or Saturday if I can get the edits all finished up on that, so look for that to come soon. But that's where I house those items, and it works great for me. As far as my coffee, you guys, and teas, you guys know I use my coffee bar that I have been loving lately. That houses all of my coffees and teas, so I really don't have use for canisters for that purpose, but the canisters work great for the purpose of housing those random items for me. So I want to take you through and show you how I have it organized and how it functions for me. So let's jump in. So I got my canisters from Macy's. They're from the Martha Stewart line, but I'll try to remember the exact name and put it below. But I searched high and low trying to find canisters that I loved, and these were a bit on the pricier side, so I looked and looked and looked, but I always came back to these. So I said, you know what, let me get them before they close them out or something happens. So I just paid a little extra for them, but I'm happy. But in the little one here, this is where I keep my disposable cooking gloves, easy to get to. I can just have them tucked away when I'm kind of mixing meat or anything like that, and I don't want to get my hands kind of grungy. Now in the second one here, this is where I keep my cooking thermometers, and perfect place for them because I can just grab them. They're right by the stove, and so I have them all tucked away right in here, along with my egg timer, and any timers and things like that will go in this section here. So it really, this canister rather here, so it really functions well for me there. So really happy with having that near the stove and everything. Now there's the big canister, and this canister here houses the majority of the items that you typically would see in the junk drawer, the things that I want to keep in the kitchen. And I still kept it down, but how I have this organized is I have it into different compartments. You guys know my system and how I think when it comes to that, because this way it keeps it neat, orderly, and I can easily get to what I need to get to. And the key, if you're going to use a canister, is not to just put the items in the canister, because that would be the same issue with a drawer. You would start stuffing it, or you could tend to start stuffing it, or family members. By having categories in the bags in here, you don't have room for that. So that's what I love about it, is everything has a place, and so when I need something, I can just come here and get it. Now I do keep a pair of scissors tucked in here, and the reason that I do that, I want them to be easily able to get to them, because I do use scissors a lot in the kitchen as far as random things of opening mail, or opening my packets with food and things like that. So just whenever I need to open something, I just kind of use those scissors there, and it helps, you know, it's really easy. So that's why I like being able to have those where I can just get to them. Now as for the little bags here, this is where I keep the other random items, but I want to be able to get to them, but I want them to stay in order. So let's start with the first bag here, and that's the first aid bag. And simply what I keep in here is I just keep band-aids and things like that, so in case I cut myself while cooking or anything. Now these little bags I got from Target, in the little section where all the little travel items are, like you get the travel deodorant, travel toothpaste. On the bottom they have kind of the little bags here, and they were like $1.90 something. They weren't that expensive. They come in different colors, and they're the perfect size. They're vinyl so that the label's easily stuck onto them. And like I said, I just keep the band-aids in here. I keep alcohol pads in here, antibacterial kind of hand sanitizer in there, and that way, like I said, if I'm cooking and a little accident happens, I have it right here on hand. So that's what that bag houses. The second one is for stationery, and this is just a little bag that I keep pins in. I keep post-it notes in case my husband needs to leave me a note on the fridge or anything like that, or vice versa, anything, you know, just we need to write down. A little pads in there, a little tape is in there, and I also keep rubber bands in there. And I want to give you a quick tip that I've shared before. This was something that I learned on Pinterest, and I shared it in a brief video a while back. But I use this tip all the time. Basically, you just take about 3 rubber bands, or 4, but just a couple rubber bands. You put it around the rim of anything that you're trying to open, jars and such, and it gives you a great grip. I mean, it works perfectly. I never have a problem opening jars anymore. I'm not physically going to open this jar because it's new and I'm not wanting to open it, but it truly works. So I like keeping rubber bands on hand just for that purpose. So the next bag here, this is where I just have it labeled lighters, and this is basically the bag where I keep those things, such as I keep a flashlight in there in case we ever need a flashlight. I can know where it's at. I can go right here in the kitchen and grab it. I also keep lighters in there. I like to light candles and different things like that. Throw some matches in there, which I don't have any matches in there now, but I just have lighters and the flashlight in there, but it's easily kept in there and I can easily get to it. And then the last bag here, this bag here is one where I keep all of my kind of labeling items for my kitchen. I keep a chalk pen in there in case I need to change anything, like maybe I change out the peas that I usually keep in this drawer to sugar, then I can easily fix it and kind of write whatever I need to write on there. I have some labels in here that I use in the kitchen and things like that. So I have this housed here. It's all kept in the kitchen and right tucked away. Works perfectly for me. So I'm really happy with the system that I set up for actually all those random items that I want to keep in my kitchen. And everybody works differently. This may not be a system that works for you. I love it. It works for me and my family here. But do what works for you. If having a drawer and having it organized is the way to go for you, then that's what I encourage you to do. I love sharing the things that I do around my home for the simple purpose of it may help you, or you may be inspired, or you may find it helpful. And that's why I love sharing, because I get inspiration from so many others. So definitely, if you reorganize your junk drawer, please join me on Instagram, send me a picture. I would love to see it. I love hearing from you, and leave me a comment below. Let me know kind of what system you currently have as far as organizing those random things that you like to keep in your kitchen. I hope you all are doing great. I'm going to try to get that pantry video out to you probably tomorrow or Saturday, so I've got to finish some edits on that. I hope you have a beautiful Friday and a beautiful weekend. I'll see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.